Hey, welcome to the show today. Lots of amazing good news today, guys. Confirmations, real actions are taking place, and it's beautiful. President Trump has just made it official. Guys, so much good news. Cuts all across the board. Trump has just started cutting funding for sanctuary cities. Multiple cities have backed off, giving the hard-earned taxpayer money to actual citizens. Guys, this is official. This is actually happening. Lots of cities today, including Louisville, Kentucky, have backed off from their sanctuary city status. Guys, amazing news. Not only that, guys, we have it where Trump has redacted billions and billions of dollars from woke colleges like Harvard, saying officially it's done. It's in the books. He said he was going to do it. Now it's actually done. Taxpayers shouldn't have to pay these college teachers to teach against America First policies. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that, because that's big. I don't want my dollars going to kids teaching them to hate America. Trump also has saved America multiple billions of dollars, pulling out of foreign entities like the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, where we were giving them almost $1 billion a year, guys, to push what? DEI policies, pro-China, guys, all the stuff that's against America. We're finally pulling this money back, and America is loving it. Let me know your thoughts. If you're loving this, guys, if you're loving all the cutting, let me know in the comments, guys. Where should all the extra money go? MAGA is winning. Cuts to foreign so-called aid, cuts to removing illegal aliens from taxpayer benefits. No USAID, no more sanctuary cities, no more money to sanctuary cities. And where do you know where we're at, guys? Republicans lead the 2026 congressional ballot by 4 points right now over the Democrats. More polls are coming out. The Americans are loving what Trump is doing. America First policies are winning, baby. And this is right after the GOP just outraised Democrats 2-1 in June, and that's not including what Trump has in a $1 billion war chest for the midterms, guys. This is winning. If you love it, put MAGA winning in the chat, in the comments, because this is what we voted for. Promises made, promises kept to put Americans first. And not only that, guys, this is a big one. Take a seat, grab some popcorn, guys, because this is going to rock the nation. The DOJ has officially received the documents to go after Obama. And this is what Trump just said. President Trump has literally said, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. Time for jail sentences, guys. This is big. The gloves are off, directly saying to the DOJ, you must go after Barack Hussein Obama. After all the Tulsi Gabbard bombshell news that came out with all the documents being released, guys, it is beautiful. And not only that, today's a big one, guys. The House Oversight Committee has just approved Tim Burchett's motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell over the Epstein case. And Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney has confirmed that they are in discussions with the Trump's DOJ on her testifying to bring full transparency over the matter. Guys, this is what we voted for, baby. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is massive. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching today, to all of our subscribers and viewers. Today's a big day. At the end of the show, we're going to be donating live on stream to a local charity, a local children's home, guys. This is my favorite day out of the month, because we partner with you. When you give a super chat or you're a member, we take this money, we donate thousands of dollars to local charities, and it is changing lives, guys. If you're not subscribed, though, please consider joining the family. We want you here. We want to serve you with all this breaking news, guys. So many confirmations of cuts. They talk about it, but it's one thing to talk about it, and it's another thing to make it official, which a lot of things have been done today, and it's beautiful. I want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel, those that have given a super chat donation already. Guys, we got a big list. Y'all are such amazing givers, and we just want to show that love towards you and you helping us to change people's lives. Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel. Show Elaine some love. Robert Heathcock, Michael Hendricks, Elizabeth Charlie Boyks, Kathy Brewer. Guys, show them some love in the chat, as well as Denise Clark, custom art for the super chat. Guys, today's a big, big day. Not only are we dropping some bombshell news, not only is this our giving day, because at the end of the show, I'm going to be giving live on stream to local charity, but we are getting some bombshell news on the Doge cuts, the pullback of so much money to give it back to the taxpayers. If you appreciate this, hit that thumbs up like button, guys. It really does help out so much with our channel. Again, we're hearing from the senators on this actually taking place today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because this is massive. Check this out.
Iowa Senator, Republican Joni Ernst. Good morning, Senator. So just last week, $9 billion rescission package signed into law. First time in 25 years that the Congress has done a rescission package. You chair the Doge caucus, focused on cutting spending. Did you get it all done?
Well, we got part of it done. So thank you for having me this morning. And yes, we are excited about the One Big Beautiful Bill and the $9 billion rescissions package. But there is more to do. I'm really proud of the work that I did and laid out for the president that was included in the $9 billion bill, but we have much more to do, and I've identified a number of things that I do hope the president takes up in the next rescissions bill. So we've heard about the crazy California gravy train that the president just put an end to. That was part of my Doge work, my squeal work, which amounted to about $100 billion over budget, and we haven't even seen a single rail laid. So we'd love to see that go forward. We also have the Fed's Taj Mahal on the mall that is at 30% cost overruns at about $2.5 billion. And we've identified other funding that we've seen in the previous administration that could be cut off as well. Just one small example of that is $1 million that I found that went to upgrading swimming pools in other nations, including Russia, even after they invaded Ukraine. So you guessed it, guys, there's a lot more to do.
You know, guys, I'm telling you, just hear that? Guys, all this stuff adds up, and I hope you appreciate that. Mr. Norby here in the chat. Let's go. Show Mr. Norby some love in the chat, everybody. The city of Louisville, Kentucky is dropping its sanctuary city policies after being threatened by the DOJ for obstructing immigration enforcement. Guys, many more cities are following unless they don't want federal funding. Everybody's pulling back. Everybody is following in line, guys. This is beautiful. Promises made, promises kept. You heard Joni Ernst, who's one of the chairs of the Doge Committee, guys, cutting the savings, bringing that money back to the United States, just like with this. President Trump withdraws the U.S. from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization over its DEI policies, pro-China and pro-Palestine bias. Not only that, guys, Trump is demanding that the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell lower the interest rates to 1%. All these cuts, calling them out, putting forth the real changes that are affecting real Americans, guys. You just heard them say. Joni Ernst said, we were giving over $1 million to other nations to improve their swimming pools. Are you freaking kidding me, guys? If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, today's a big, big show today. We're dropping all the receipts. We're dropping the facts. And at the end of the show today, big, big giving and donating to our local charity, guys. I love it because, again, more is coming, more cuts, giving this back to Americans.
Brought that up, and looking at your X account, I love it. You point out what's really going on, and I got to get back to the swimming pools because it was just yesterday that you pointed out that Joe Biden used, as you said, $1 million, taxpayer dollars, to renovate pools at these U.S. embassies in war-torn countries around the world, adding that you are going to stop the splashy spending, like the play on words there. Can you elaborate, how you discovered this and what was really going on here? Well, it is wonderful because during my squeal work, we've included a lot of great team members. And what we do is go through and we can scrutinize government spending. There is open records that we can find, that we can request. And through that process, we did find out that the federal government was spending that $1 million on upgrading pools all around the world. Russia, Sudan, Indonesia,
Wow.
5 of them in Iraq. And this is at a time when we know we need to tighten our belts here in the United States. So spending all of that additional money overseas on luxury type items really doesn't make any sense to our taxpayers. So this is why I continue to work with Russ Vode over at OMB, with the president and his team, making sure that when we are spending, it is for the benefit of our taxpayers right here in the good old US of A. So let's use a little common sense, and I think we can do that in this next rescissions package.
Yeah, guys, you heard them. They're already working on the next rescissions package. Trump is pulling back so much money. Look at this. President Trump just said Harvard has $52 billion sitting in the bank, and yet they are anti-Semitic, anti-Christian, and anti-American. Much of this money comes from the USA, all to the detriment of other schools and colleges. And we're not going to allow this unfair situation to happen any longer. It's a long-time commitment to fairness in funding and education, and the Trump administration will not stop until there is victory, guys. Look at this. The Harvard case was just tried in Massachusetts before an Obama-appointed judge who is a total disaster, but they are trying to still get federal funding when they have $52 billion in the bank. This is what Trump is fighting for, guys, and this is what I love, because you don't see this across any other political person out there. To go against the big colleges, to go and put America first with everything. And we're showing you guys the receipts. Can you imagine $52 billion in the bank, and yet they still want federal funding? No, not going to happen. Trump saying he's going to put a stop to it. All that money coming back to the American taxpayers, baby. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Senator, you mentioned another great moniker, the Taj Mahal on the Mall, which is the Fed building. Do you think that the Fed's $2 billion over budget project, could that be cause for dismissal of Jerome Powell, the Fed chair?
It actually could be, and this is why we need to scrutinize what that spending was on, how those dollars were spent, why there's a 30% cost overrun at this Taj Mahal on the Mall. We really do need to understand that. And of course, we've heard about his testimony in front of Congress. Was he telling the truth? Was he lying? And we need to go back, sort through all of that, and if there was any misdoing, misdeeds, then certainly it potentially could be cause for letting Jerome Powell, the Fed, go.
Yeah, we only have about 15 seconds, but I got to ask you, I know there have been reports that you may consider not running for re-election. The White House clearly urging you to keep your seat. What can you tell us?
Guys, Doge cuts are happening. People are loving it. Look at this right here. Republicans lead the 2026 congressional ballot by 4 points, 49 to 45% over the Democrats, per a Napolitan news poll, guys. And these aren't like right-leaning news polls. These are left-leaning news polls. And a lot of people are saying what? That they love it because we are actually seeing wins, that Americans are being put first, guys. This is what we've been wanting. This is what we voted for, guys. I love it. And what you're about to hear next, guys, more things are coming from Congress. Trump is staying on their butts to get things done. And I love it because I'm so tired of seeing us pay and vote for these people in Congress and they don't do anything. But Trump is forcing them to do everything. Listen to this, guys.
I tell you what, it's been an exciting 6 months. Sunday, as you all probably know, marked the first 6 months of the Trump presidency, the second term. The 47th president has had an incredible run. We're on a winning streak. America's hot again. We're bringing back strength and prosperity and capitalizing and delivering on all the campaign promises that President Trump made on the campaign trail and that all Republicans did by extension. We're really proud of that. And I tell you what, history is going to record this to be one of the most consequential extraordinary first 6 months of any administration ever, because we have unified government. The voters in this country gave Republicans the chance to turn this mess around, and we are. So we have the White House and the Senate and the House, and we're using it effectively every single day. And here in the House, we've kept pace with President Trump's extraordinary momentum. He never sleeps, and so we don't get to either. We've been codifying his executive orders at a record pace. We're cementing America First policies into law. We're enacting the full scale of the Trump administration's agenda, with the passage, of course, of the One Big Beautiful Bill, sort of a capstone of the first 6 months. And we've accomplished so much in just that time period. And I think the key is we've done that with unity. As you all have noticed, it's very deliberate. We work very closely hand in hand, the Senate and House Republicans, as one united team. That's kind of an innovation in Washington, but a very important one. And we've demonstrated that that unity is how we deliver. There's no majority in the history of this body that can wield power unless it stands together. And so I work really hard. We all do. This leadership team does every day to keep everybody rowing in the same direction. This morning at our weekly conference meeting, we discussed the upcoming schedule, given the Democrats' endless efforts to politicize the Epstein controversy and that whole investigation. I want to be clear about this. There's a reason behind what we are doing here. We have a responsibility, actually a dual responsibility here, okay? I've been on record very clearly that I believe in maximum transparency. I think every single House Republican will say the same thing. In fact, they've told me that publicly and privately. They talk about this. We want maximum transparency. We also understand the other part of that duty is that we have to protect innocent victims. Okay? We have to do both.
And guys, this is massive because I want to bring in the layers of context around what they're talking about. They're getting things done. Look at this. House Oversight Committee, who is run by James Comer, approves Representative Tim Burchett's motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the leg worker for who? Jeffrey Epstein, guys. They're not sitting around. Trump is getting things done, guys. And what I love is that he is not afraid right now to call everybody out right now, guys. This is as massive as it gets. Just moments ago, President Trump just took the gloves off, directly saying to the DOJ he must go after Barack Hussein Obama. He said, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. There should be severe consequences for that. You know, when you caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was a sort of a terrible, and I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to the highly classified. And what they did in 2016 and 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. They're not sitting around, guys. And what you're about to hear next is accountability. Finally, people are growing a backbone. Trump is smacking them into place, guys. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much, Stephen Brandon for the super chat. Let's go. Thank you so much, Tim Patton, for the super chat. And Denise Clark Custom Art. Y'all show Denise, Tim, and Stephen some love in the chat, guys.
At the same time. What do we mean by that? Look, involved in the Epstein evil, okay, which is what it was. Just call it what it was. There are innocent victims of those unspeakable sex crimes, okay? Some of them were minors, some of them were not. When the Epstein records are turned over to the public, which we must do as quickly as possible, we have to also be very judicious and careful about protecting the innocent. I think everybody in the country should understand the necessity of that. It is the standard. I used to be a litigator. It's the standard in the court of law and the courts. It's the standard in law enforcement. Anyone who's served in law enforcement understands the necessity of that. It is the standard with government agencies. We protect the innocent. So we cannot be careless in an open release like that. You have to be very careful. The president himself has said that he wants maximum transparency and all credible evidence to be turned over to the American public so that everyone can make their own decisions. We're owed that. And we want any individual who's been involved in any way in the Epstein evils to be brought to justice as quickly as possible. And the law should be brought down upon their head. We're unequivocal about that, okay? we have to make sure that the credible evidence is revealed, and we're doing that. The president has made a request to the courts in the grand jury testimony and the files there, for example. And the court should turn that over, and that will be a continuing and ongoing quest. Now, what we refuse to do is participate in another one of the Democrats' political games. This is a serious matter. We are not going to let them use this as a political battering ram. The Rules Committee became the ground for them to do that. We're not going to allow them to engage in that charade anymore. Why do I call it a charade? Because the Democrats are trying to play gotcha politics right now when, as the leader just pointed out, they don't have any moral high ground on this at all. They controlled the Department of Justice for the last 4 years. Has anyone forgotten? They had all these files the entire time. They sat on everything Epstein related for 4 long years while President Biden was in office. You could draw your own conclusions as to why, but we've been intellectually consistent the entire time. And I want to say this about my colleagues Ro Khanna and Jim McGovern and Hakeem Jeffries and so many others. They've tweeted about Epstein countless times in the last 2 weeks, but go back and look at their social media accounts, we have, and their public comments. They had exactly 0 posts on the subject for the last 4 years of the Biden administration. Interesting, isn't it? We all understand that the America First agenda and the American people are best served by putting an end to the Democrats' sideshows. And that's what we're doing by not allowing the Rules Committee to continue with that nonsense this week. As was noted, we've got tons of very important work going on here. The leader just gave you a small sampling of it. But we're done being lectured on transparency by the same party that orchestrated one of the most shameless, dangerous political cover-ups in the history of this country or any government on the face of planet Earth. If the Democrats want to talk transparency, I'm happy to rewind the tape. 366 days ago, President Joe Biden was unceremoniously forced off the Democrat ticket. Everybody knows why. Even after millions of Americans had already cast their primary votes for him, the self-proclaimed party of democracy threw out their nominee, the sitting president of the United States, for his disastrous debate performance. On the debate stage, President Biden revealed to the American people what Democrats in Congress spent 4 long years trying to hide, that the President of the United States of America was in rapid mental decline and unable to continue serving as the leader of the free world. I'm going to say that again. The man holding the most powerful office on the face of the earth, who we now know was being propped up by his staff and Democrats in Congress, was in rapid mental decline. It was a
Guys, you know that things are heating up whenever Mike Johnson sounds like he's got a backbone with everything that's going on, because he usually doesn't talk like that, guys. He is getting some, because when you know behind the scenes what's going on and stuff like this is coming out, Trump posted this. Obama himself manufactured the Russia hoax, Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe, and the numerous others participated in this, the crime of the century, irrefutable evidence, a major threat to our country. People start getting a little bit more confidence over what they're going to say. And this is beautiful because this is the receipts, guys. We're showing you everything that's going on behind the scenes. You don't see this on mainstream media. This is winning for America. Andy, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. He said, I don't believe a word that Mike Johnson is saying. That's one of the biggest rhinos in the entire Democratic Party. Guys, entire Democrat. Thank you, Andy, for the super chat. I don't really trust Mike Johnson, but I trust Tim Burchett. And what I love is that when it comes to Tim Burchett, he is working under who? James Comer, who is over the House Oversight Committee. And when they have approved for Representative Tim Burchett's motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell, these are the receipts, guys, that we know what's going on. We know that things are actually happening to put justice forward and show everybody how corrupt our dang Congress has actually been. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Shocking as it was dangerous, and they all participated in it. Nearly every single one of the Democrats who shamelessly attempted to pull the wool over our eyes still holds office today. You ought to be chasing them down the hallways asking for their responses on that. We released a 14-minute long video yesterday with just a small sample of the countless receipts of the Democrats at every level spinning this fantastical lie to the American people. I encourage every reporter in this room to go watch that. You ought to use the clips and you ought to go ask them about it. And remember that the same Democrats who lied to us for years are now trying to convince you they stand for transparency. They participated in one of the greatest political scandals in all of history, and the House Republicans are not going to allow this to be whitewashed from the historical record. We'll continue to investigate and shine light on those who perpetrated this and provide answers directly to the American people. Now, President Biden's mental condition was poor, but his legacy of achievement in office was even worse. And I've said many times, after those 4 years of Biden and Harris, every single area of public policy was in a disastrous state. In Congress and the White House, we've been hard at work from day one of this Congress, day one of the Trump administration, trying to undo all that damage of the last 4 years. And we're laying the foundation for what will make our country safer, stronger, and more prosperous than ever before. The American people gave President Trump a clear mandate to enact his America First agenda, and Republicans answered the call. To date, we've enacted 50 of the president's executive orders, from reining in bureaucratic waste, fraud, and abuse to passing common sense legislation to delivering our once-in-a-generation legislative victories through the One Big Beautiful Bill. Let me give you a quick summary. Americans asked for secure borders and safer communities, and Republicans delivered the largest investment in border security and interior enforcement on record. And with the Halt Fentanyl Act and the Lake and Riley Act, we're making sure American communities are safe from deadly drugs and illegal aliens that have taken far too many lives. The American people asked us for bigger paychecks and more affordable gas and groceries, and we delivered on that too. We delivered the largest working and middle-class tax cut in the history of the United States. And we've torn down Biden-era regulations like the California EV mandate that was just madness, and worked against working families and American energy dominance. The American people demanded fiscal sanity, and Republicans delivered again. We passed more than $1.5 trillion in spending cuts so the government can begin to live within its means again. All of this is real, positive change for American families. The kind that they are going to directly feel in their bank accounts, they're going to see it in their neighborhoods, and they're going to count on it for years to come. Any of these individual feats as standalone bills would have been considered historic achievements by any Republican Congress. And we got them all done, all together in one big, beautiful bill. And the more the American people hear about that bill, the more they like it. There was a Harvard Harris poll that recently surveyed the individual titles, the individual pieces of the big bill. And they found that 17 of the 21 major proposals polled had a majority of support. That's including things like reducing federal spending and imposing common sense work requirements on public assistance. But while the American people continue to learn about the bill, they'll also begin to feel its positive effects because we did this on a very aggressive timetable. As you all know, we put it on an ambitious timeline to be delivered. Many in this room said it wouldn't succeed. You wrote about it. I read all that. That's fine. We said we needed 6 weeks to craft our House budget resolution, and we passed it in February. We said we'd pass our House version of the One Big Beautiful Bill by Memorial Day, and we beat that deadline by 4 days. We said we'd pass it through both chambers and get it to the president's desk for signature by July 4th. And what happened? We had a big, beautiful signing ceremony at the White House on Independence Day. It was a historic day, and it's a testament to what this House Republican Conference can accomplish when we remain united and working towards a common goal.
Guys, it's beautiful. Promises made, promises kept, holding people accountable, guys. Ghislaine Maxwell, attorney, confirms that they are in discussions with the Trump DOJ on her testifying. Guys, again, so much things are dropping today. We could never have guessed if Trump wasn't president, none of this would be happening right now. And all the news that's dropping, all the bombshells news that's coming through, guys, what is it doing? Is exposing corrupt politicians, guys. We've got to drain the swamp. Patrick Trebet, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Patrick some love in the chat, my favorite gift. And Gene Kopech, OG of the channel. Show Gene some love in the chat. Obama's homes, and including the homes of his partners in crimes, need to be invaded by the FBI like they invaded President Trump's home. Guys, the news on that's coming out, it's insane. Y'all show Gene, OG of the channel, some love in the chat. They raided Trump's homes because they were looking for the evidence that Tulsi Gabbard just unveiled. I want to repeat that again. They were trying to find what Trump, all the evidence that Trump had, all the documents that Tulsi Gabbard has just revealed, the Obama-Biden administration, all of them. That's why they raided his home. All this is coming out today, guys. I got the receipts to show you, but can you believe that? It wasn't because of whatever that he had classified documents. No, they were trying to cover their butts, and they got caught. And Tulsi Gabbard is revealing it all, and we've got more breaking news, guys, from people. We bring you the people that are right in it, guys. You see stuff here you don't see on mainstream media, and it's beautiful because what I want to bring is the truth. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, because what you're about to hear is massive.
And bolstering Mr. Trump, end quote. Adding that, quote, the new report by Ms. Gabbard's staff conflates those two activities by the Russians and tries to suggest that the Obama administration forced the intelligence community to alter its conclusions, end quote.
Okay, this is how they're blowing back already. And look, these people are very sophisticated. They have huge platforms. This is going to be a fight, right? But we have to win this one. If you don't win this one, number one, I think people are going to be so dispirited that, hey, we caught these guys red-handed and you couldn't prosecute them, and the deep state actually runs things. Julie Kelly, you've seen the underbelly of this since you started on the J6 persecutions, not prosecutions. Talk to me about what's coming up on this and the blowback you're getting. Of course, Andy McCarthy in National Review has already taken a shot at Tulsi Gabbard. Walk me through your assessment of where we are on this.
So here's what they're trying to do. The Nicole Wallaces and John Brennan and Tim Heapy, who was on the January 6th Select Committee. I wish someone would ask him about all the destroyed evidence that he produced on that committee. But nonetheless, what they're trying to suggest is that what Tulsi Gabbard and others are saying is that the Obama regime, Obama White House inner circle, said that the voting machines were hacked and that the vote totals were impacted by the Russians. I don't think that Tulsi Gabbard, I keep reading through her documents, I don't see that she has said that anywhere. But they did say, and I'm rereading John Brennan's ICA, the 2017 one that's now been thoroughly discredited. And he does talk about Russian cyber intrusions into state and local electoral boards. They sent Lisa Monaco, DHS Secretary Jay Johnson, and Jim Comey to Capitol Hill in September of 2016, not to talk to the Gang of Eight and congressional leaders about, $100,000 in Facebook ads that the Kremlin allegedly was going to put out saying mean things about Hillary Clinton. No, they went with the express purpose of fomenting this fake belief that the Russians somehow were going to hack into our election system, our voting system, and that they needed to come out in a bipartisan way and denounce that. Not Facebook ads, not Vladimir Putin saying nice things about Donald Trump. They made this sound like it was going to be a very aggressive and vote-changing, election outcome-changing operation. So this is what they talked about beforehand. They talked about it publicly. They talked about it after the election. So to now conflate this with, well, now they're saying that the Obama people said and Brennan said that votes were impacted. No, that's not what they said. They specifically said that the Russians at Vladimir Putin was going to interfere, hack, assault. They used a number of different descriptions for it, the elections to help Donald Trump win. So now that they're all backing away, I love how Nicole Wallace is like, oh, this 9-year-old report with John Brennan sitting right there, who of course was responsible for it. They just will not stop the deception that this hoax relied on from day one to try to destroy Donald Trump.
And guys, I'm telling you, stuff is coming out. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Congress might subpoena Obama over the Russia conspiracy. I've got a special interview to show you guys over the next steps in the declassification of the documents pertaining to Obama, Russia, collusion hoax, all this stuff from Mike Johnson himself. This is big, guys. This is so massive, and you're seeing it here first on TrueLife News. If you appreciate this, let us know your thoughts in the comments. This is big. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, let's go. More winning than I could ever, could get done in such a short time, guys. Y'all show Tijuana Border Jumper some love in the chat. This is 100%. Trump is putting America first, but justice is finally coming, because think about it. Think about how many people are seeing the evidence. They said it didn't happen, it was a lie, and now they're seeing the truth, and I love reporting on it.
What they mocked, the Mike Lindells and the machine folks in the 2020 election, they were trying to, get people worked up in the fall of 2016, but it never happened. Also, let's go back to the Facebook ads. I think Clapper was the guy that wrote the book. Either Clapper or Hayden, one of the two. Keep those nerds apart. It might have been Hayden's book because they all wrote books, right? In the book, I remember Erin Burnett sitting there interviewing him, and she said, hey, look, in your entire book, you get down to it, and you're talking about $160,000 of Facebook ads that some group in Russia took that said, Hillary Clinton was not the best. That's still kind of the basic facts they had. There were some Facebook ads that were done, is it not? They never proved anything else. And of course, on the December 8th, they had a phony IC assessment that they wanted to rework to basically show and to smear. I call it the nullification project, either to be able to remove Trump from office, but not doing that, put enough doubt in American people's minds that he'd been fairly and freely elected, ma'am.
Right, correct. So I think that the Facebook ads maybe were proven or somehow tied to the Kremlin or GRU or whatever. But we did all of this for Facebook ads, and now you have Tim Heaphy or whoever and the weirdo Tim, the other Tim from the Bulwark. Now all of a sudden they're just poo-pooing and laughing this whole thing off. It's pretty preposterous. And also, Steve, recall, this all originated with the other lie, which is that the Russians hacked the DNC email server and that the Russians were responsible for the dissemination of incriminating emails located on that server that threw the convention up for grabs in 2016 resulted in the resignation of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. They blamed that on the Russians. And then we come to find out there's never been any evidence that the Russians hacked the DNC email system. Sean Henry, who is the CEO of CrowdStrike, the firm that was hired by Fusion and DNC to look into the hack and then quickly determined that this Guccifer 2.0 working with the GRU had hacked the email system. He told Congress a few years later, no, we never had the data. We never had the servers. We never had the machine.
Wow.
We never could look at anything. Of course, Jim Comey said that they never had it either. So that's another lie, but that's really what I think initiated this narrative, or even if it sort of disputes what is specifically in the ICA, but certainly the idea that the Russians hacked into something. And that's why it was called, 2016 election hacking. If you go through the news reports, that's all that they say is hacking. Barack Obama suggested it in mid-December of 2016. Tulsi Gabbard has that in her documents. So to now back off and say, oh, no, the Russians really didn't do anything serious. We didn't really state that they did anything serious. We just said that they were influencing the election. Well, of course, every major enemy of America wants to do that. So just their attempt to rewrite history in the face of now more evidence and putting the puzzle pieces together on this.
Guys, it's so massive. I got some bombshell news right here. Todd Blanche, justice demands courage. He said, for the first time, the Department of Justice is reaching out to Ghislaine Maxwell to ask, what do you know? At Pam Bondi's direction, I've contacted her counsel and I intend to meet with her soon. No one is above the law and no lead is off limits, guys. Look at this, guys. Attorney General Pam Bondi's statement said the Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truths, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead. The joint statement by the DOJ and the FBI of the July 6th remains as accurate today as it was written, namely that in the recent through the review of the files maintained by the FBI in the Epstein case, no evidence was uncovered that could predicate an investigation into uncharged third parties. President Trump has told us to release all credible evidence. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say. This is what I'll say, guys. America's going to get justice one way or another, either through Pam Bondi or somebody else. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, Michael Butler, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said accountability is coming that we, the American patriots, have been waiting for. MAGA. Thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. Said this woman is going to say what she is allowed to say. Bondi is going to make sure she keeps in line and doesn't expose anyone in the powerful elite club. Gregosaurus Galores, thank you so much for the super chat. Said True Life News rocks. Watch all the orange jumpsuits in the fall. Deep State is coming down, baby. I love it. Y'all show them some love in the chat, as well as Mr. Tracy J. Norby for his support with our charities, guys. Show him some love in the chat. This is big. Guys, I'm telling you, I bring you the things that you normally don't see on mainstream media. If you appreciate this, show some love in the chat. We want to show you things that are what people are actually saying, the actual people that are in charge of what's going on. This is so important. Listen to this because this is powerful. Check this out.
What Tulsi Gabbard has done, the DNI chief, in essence, declassifying hundreds of documents that seem to suggest that manufactured intelligence was at play here with the Obama administration regarding this Russian collusion hoax. I've heard Stephen Miller call it a seditious conspiracy. I've heard Tulsi Gabbard call it a treasonous conspiracy. You're a constitutional guy. What do you see in this exactly? How do you term it?
Well, I don't know how to summarize it by way of description in a snappy phrase, but I will tell you it is deeply problematic. And before I became Speaker of the House, I served on the House Judiciary Committee, which had jurisdiction over a lot of this. And we knew what was happening. We knew intuitively, and we were gathering the evidence as we were investigating all of this ourselves. We knew the Russia collusion thing was a hoax. They used it as a basis to attack the president mercilessly. I served on his impeachment defense teams twice. That would be unheard of in history, that a president would be impeached twice on such spurless claims. But in those processes, as we were preparing for those defenses, as we were investigating with our oversight responsibility and judiciary, we recognized that the people who are being called out now were involved in a scheme. We knew that it was a shameless, false set of accusations. And yet, they perpetuated the lie on the American people, and they looked right into the camera and just lied, clearly. And they knew what they were up to the whole time. So there must be accountability for that. Because what it does ultimately, the greatest threat of all this is not just what they've done to President Trump as an individual, it's what they're doing to the institutions, even broader than that. They have diminished the people's faith in our system of justice itself, in the institution of the Department of Justice, in the institution of the FBI. And those are critical functions that are played in a constitutional republic. And so we're in the process of restoring trust and rebuilding the people's belief in our system of justice itself. And it's an extraordinary challenge.
Guys, and that is so massive, guys. We have to be able to trust our elected officials, trust the system. That's why this is so important. House Republicans on the Oversight Committee have officially voted to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell, seeking her sworn testimony regarding her involvement in the Epstein case. Guys, do y'all realize how big this is? We're going to live stream it. We will. Because it's going to be so massive to hear from the woman herself who was involved with the worst of the worst when it came to all the Epstein stuff, when it came to you know that there's politicians and celebrities in there. You know that there's really, really rich people on the both sides, Republicans and Democrats, that were involved. And I just want to hear the name drops. That's what I'm looking for. But I'm telling you, they're going to have to protect her now. Because when stuff like this happens, things happen, if you know what I'm saying. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is real talk. This is the stuff that, again, we want to make sure that we get the truth and we expose it like nobody's business.
Challenge that was brought about because people were involved in a sinister plot. And so there must be accountability.
You say there must be accountability. The DOJ will work on the criminal aspect of this. What's the role of the House here specifically? I mean, people want to see subpoenas. They want to see depositions.
Yes.
They want to see whether it be Brennan, Clapper, potentially the president, the former president of the United States. Are you willing to go down that route? Because a lot of people want to see some of these folks questioned under oath.
Of course. Look, I think we have a responsibility to follow the truth where it leads and to do it in an unbiased fashion, to do effectively the opposite of what that other team did. They're engaged in a partisan political plot to take down their foe and the other party. We need to be about the rule of law and bringing order to the chaos and searching out the truth, because the American people are owed those answers. So we have some very bright, very capable, very strong leaders at Judiciary and Oversight, you know, Chairman Jim Jordan, Chairman Jamie Comer, and the other committees that would be...
Guys, and again, too, Comer and Jordan are probably some of the two biggest pit bulls that are out there trying to get the news, like what Mike Johnson is saying, that when it comes to the people that are in charge, Tulsi Gabbard, you got Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Jim Jordan, James Comer, you got, who else? Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are people that have been put in leadership positions. Why? Because they're super patriotic, they're super MAGA, and they're going to get the job done. Look, this guy, Mike Johnson, may not be the guy who gets things done, but if the other people get it done, I don't care who gets it done. I just want to see justice. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Involved. And I do expect that whether there's a special counsel appointed, which some are suggesting, and or in conjunction with the House investigations, that we will get the answers, and there will be accountability to the extent that we're able to do that, referring people to the DOJ for prosecution and any other measure that is appropriate as we begin to uncover more of the facts.
Does it get tricky at all with the former president, President Obama, looking at what his role in this is and bringing him in for some sort of deposition, potential subpoena?
Well, listen, I mean, we have no concern about that. If it's uncomfortable for him, he shouldn't have been involved in overseeing this, which is what it appears to us has happened. There's a lot of allegations on the table. Our job is to go and follow each of those trails and to find out the truth. So those are very serious allegations with very serious implications, but we're going to have very serious people working on it, and we will get the answers.
Guys, oh my goodness, this is massive stuff that you're about to see, because like this, I feel like America is at this point, guys, just like what you're seeing on the screen right here, what he just said about subpoenaing, bringing a subpoena against Obama, that Americans have so much transparency now more than ever. We call people out in real time. People are getting to see exactly where things are at, and we have so much news circulating that there is no more of, oh, you have just whatever mainstream says and then that's what happens. No, you got people like me. You got people all across YouTube and X and everybody and Rumble and all these places that are willing to go through, figure things out, and just blast the truth out there. And I love it, because this is what I feel like is one of the most patriotic things. Like y'all watching me being able to build you a show and show you all the breaking news as it's happening. This is, to me, America, because it's keeping us 100% right in the know. Listen to this, guys.
Two of you more than any two people on earth for 3 long years trying to get information about the truth on that story. It turns out our ensemble cast, and I won't mention everybody, but John Solomon and Greg Jarrett and Sarah Carter and others, we all got it right. There were a very small number of people that wanted to get it right. You two were leading the effort. Here we are. Mark Meadows, what does this mean?
Well, I think it's a big day, but I think the other thing is that there's going to be all kinds of postmortems to suggest, well, what we knew back then and what you were willing to cover, Sean, actually wasn't the case. And so what do we know? We know that candidate Donald Trump and candidate Hillary Clinton were treated differently. We also know that Clapper, Brennan, and Comey met outside the workplace. We know that according to text messages. And we also know that in August of 2016, they were actually meeting at the White House. And so does this come as a surprise to Jim, you, or me? No, not at all. But here's what should be told tonight is they need to go after all the people that they shared in the legacy media that covered this up, including Adam Schiff.
Boom. That's a great point. Jim Jordan, I'll go to you. To me, this grand conspiracy investigation that Kash Patel has now opened a number of weeks ago, I think a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not what we refer to as the deep state, and there is one, and whether or not there were people within our government knowingly lying to the American people, spreading propaganda for the purposes of tipping an election to one side over the other. You can say, for example, the Russia hoax would be one example for 2016, but also the double standard with top secret classified information with Hillary. Or, of course, the Russian disinformation dossier that Hillary Clinton paid for. Then you go to 2020, the laptop from hell, 51 former intel agents that knew nothing about that laptop. Boy, they all sounded like experts. Looks like Russian interference. None of them looked at it. And then you could take it through lawfare in 2024. They went after Donald Trump with a vengeance so they could call him a convict, mugshot him. They wanted to put him in jail. They never thought he would be able to beat the system. But this is a 10-year period of time that we're talking about here.
Guys, and it's so massive. Before we get into what he says, I want you to see what Trump just said. Trump says Obama's guilty of treason for ordering the 2016 Russia investigation. They tried to steal the election, guys. New York Post just came out, guys, moments ago. 2-day breaking news, guys. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Excuse me. Andy, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, I would not be surprised if she ends up dead in her cell and ends up proactive custody living on an island with Epstein. Let's not trust all these liars. Thank you so much, Andy. Barry Myers, thank you so much for the super chat. And Amy INFJ, thank you so much. Said, what happened to no one is above the law? Rules for thee, but not for me should be the left's motto. Thanks, Joel. Y'all show Amy, Barry, and Andy some love in the chat, guys. This is massive. Not only that, this right here, it has just been revealed by President Trump that DNI, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has thousands more damaging files on the Trump-Russia 2016 treasonous conspiracy from Obama, and they are set to be released. And you know what, guys? I can already know, because I got family members that think I'm crazy for being a MAGA person, but I feel like America first and being, you know, an American is kind of like a given. If you're in America and you're an American, you probably should be America first. But it's crazy to think that they're probably going to say that Trump and all them are making all this stuff up. This is what I think. When people see the inside of a jail cell, things are going to get crazy in America because, again, too, Obama, first black president, if he gets seen inside of a jail cell, things are going to get crazy. There's going to be riots. It's going to be insane. But if there's presented in the right way and there's enough evidence, I think America will see right through it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
And it all started back in 2016. And it wasn't just to keep him from winning the election in 2016. It was to undermine his presidency after he had already won. I want you to think of 3 dates in the interim between Election Day and Inauguration Day back in 2016, 2017. December 9th, Obama calls a meeting in the White House. All the intelligence community is there, plus the Justice Department. You got Lynch, you got Comey, you got Clapper, you got Brennan. They're all there. Obama says, we're not going to go with the intelligence community assessment. We're going to put that on hold, and they put together a new one. 3.5 weeks later, January 3rd, Chuck Schumer's on one of the Sunday shows, and he says, if you mess with the intelligence community, talking to President-elect Donald Trump, if you mess with the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday to get back at you. 3 days later, Sean, 3 days later, January 6th at Trump Tower, the intelligence community, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, go up there to give President Trump what he believes is the defensive briefing all incoming presidents get.
Right there, guys. What he just said, I want to show you because it is so powerful. Why? This just shows you as soon as this happened, there should have been launched a full-scale investigation. Listen to this.
To take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
When you take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday to get back at you. This is a sitting senator. If this isn't corruption, if this isn't bringing the receipts, guys, and that's why you heard Jim Jordan just say it. 3 days after Homeboy said this, Schumer said this, They went after Trump because Trump was fighting the deep state. This is horrible. It is un-American. It is corruption at the highest level, and I am so dang ready to see somebody put in jail because you said something like that. If you had enough confidence to say on mainstream media, don't go against the intelligence community, so you mean to tell me that for somebody to want to challenge the truth or challenge what we're being told or challenge the narrative, that we can't because the intelligence community will come after us? Are you kidding me? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys.
He's expecting just the normal briefing. Instead, it's a setup. They go up there and brief him, and then they tell him about the dossier that they already know is false. And then it gets leaked to the press, and thereby giving it credibility when the press reports that Jim Comey, FBI director, briefed Donald Trump on the Russian dossier. It was all garbage, but it was all designed to undermine. This is where it began. The whole weaponization of government began here. And to your first point, Sean, you're right. We had figured this out several years ago, and we're covering this, and the only thing we had wrong was it was worse than we thought. That's the only thing we get wrong when we dig into these investigations. It's always worse than we thought.
Okay, now, there was that final moment. They had this meeting, I believe it was January 5th, and in just the final minutes of Obama's presidency, Susan Rice, that infamous memo, by the book, Barack Obama said, buy the book. James Comey said, buy the book. Why would you write that weeks after a meeting, only, 2 minutes before Donald Trump's inaugurated? Mark Meadows.
Well, you would do it to try to change the narrative, and Jen was exactly right. They had spent the preceding days actually leaking to the press so that the press could write a story to actually create suspicion, and in doing so, they created the very story that supposedly they were giving a defensive briefing to the president about. Listen, they knew it would last. They're the best leakers in Washington, D.C., and then when they leak, they investigate their own leaks. And so this is what has got to stop, and hopefully it will.
Jim,
Sean,
will anybody... Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, buy the book was just a CYA. That's all they were doing. Everyone understands that. But what they did was a template, because 3 weeks after they'd go up and try to set up President Trump on January 6, 2017, 3 weeks later, they were successful with General Flynn. They go in and set him up. Remember, Comey testified later, spoke later at a big forum. He said, yeah, we knew it was a new administration. We should have called the White House counsel, but we thought we could get away with it. They set up Michael Flynn and took him out. Same playbook. That is why what Tulsi did, referring this to the Justice Department, God bless her and God bless the Justice Department. They should look into this as a conspiracy for what it is. Thank goodness Cash has said the same thing. This has to happen because this is where it all began.
All right,
guys, I'm telling you, if justice is not coming right here, I'm just, this is some of the biggest news. House Oversight Committee approves Representative Tim Burchett's motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. And I told you guys, I bring you the receipts. I bring you so much stuff you don't see on mainstream media. Look at him himself. Our boy Tim Burchett, my representative out of my state of Tennessee. Listen to this.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, just leaving Oversight Subcommittee, Government Operations. Hey brother. I asked some questions to about the GAO, their bid process, but the important thing was that I did a motion to direct the chairman of the full committee to authorize and issue a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell to appear before a deposition. And that's it right there. I had it printed out, so I made sure I do it appropriate. Talked to Chairman Comer. He's down with it. We're good. I believe he's going to issue the subpoena. He's a stand-up guy. We just got to get to the bottom of this thing, folks. It's just, it's 4 years, and we don't need to tolerate this stuff anymore. And I'm getting, I get the blowback about folks up here are going to be mad at me, but ultimately, and with all sincerity, excuse me, I'm going to answer to my creator on this issue. And
let's go.
What we did about the least amongst us. And we got to send a message to these dirtbags that do this. This is not acceptable behavior. And also a message to the victims that we believe you. and that you need to come out of the shadows, and we need to bust these people that do this and send them to hell, because I'm over it. Anyway.
Me too.
Before I get myself in any more trouble.
Guys, oh my goodness, I love it. I told you guys we bring you some good stuff here, guys. So powerful. What's going on right now? This is big, guys. More pages are coming out over the Epstein stuff. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Andy, thank you so much for the super chat. Said Trump may pardon her as payback for her fake testimony, though. Thank you, Andy. John Reppy, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, I pray for our country daily. These crooks need to be held accountable. 100%. Thomas Brewer, thank you so much, brother. Y'all show Thomas some love in the chat. John Reppy and Andy. Guys, we are seeing history in the making, and I'm bringing you everybody that is literally on the inside who are actually in the know. You're hearing them speak. This is a lot of stuff, like I said, you don't see on mainstream media. So if you're not subscribed, guys, please consider subscribing to our family, joining us so we can continue to serve you with all the breaking news. This is big right here, guys. Check this out, because I'm telling you, this is where you hear what's actually going on.
This week because of Epstein in there, and what is your reaction to it? Well, we have to wait for the courts to apply to be in Bondi for her request to unseal that information. Unfortunately, no one has speed that up. So, are you okay with the pause for now before the Republican resolution is voted on? I think it's the right thing to do. I think everyone wants to see, the information that was sealed away. I think the American people want to see it. I'm a co-sponsor of Thomas Maskey's resolution. I'm all for voting on it. I'm all for transparency. So, but we just have to be a little patient for it.
Will you talk to the president at all about this issue? Has he explained to you kind of where he's coming from and his mindset around it?
I haven't talked to him on this specific issue. The last time I talked with him was last week about my concerns on the Genius Act. Basically having that open door to a central bank digital currency, which I think is extremely dangerous. The American people are radically opposed to that on both sides of the aisle. I think that's like an 80% or higher issue. Everyone wants to control their money. And it's scary to think about. You can't hold your money. You can't hide your money. You can't use your own money to buy and sell, and that it could be converted to a digital currency that in the hands of some future administration could be controlled. And I think that's terrifying to people. And that was what I was talking about.
You tweeted yesterday, like, no one's if you want the whole steak dinner, like,
yes,
as not like little bits won't be enough. I interpreted that as like the Pam Bondi thing is not enough. Like, you want the whole thing.
That my criticism wasn't directed at Pam Bondi. My criticism there is is anyone in the administration, everyone throwing out little pieces of red meat to get the base worked up over something when there's never going to be accountability.
But do you think
if there's a crime,
Pam Bondi in the court?
No, I want to say if there's crimes have been committed, no matter who they are. If there's no justice and no accountability, people are going to get sick of it. It's like, stop telling me about crimes if you're not going to do anything about it. And that's where people largely are. My issue is this. People can't afford health insurance. They can't afford car insurance. They can't afford rent. They can't afford to buy a house. Those are the problems we need to be fixing. And I'm just saying, like, stop throwing out, here, look at this crime 10 years ago.
Right. Why do you think they're doing that?
I have no idea.
Do you think Trump is concerned that he will be implicated now if it all comes out?
I don't think so. If President Trump was guilty of something with Epstein, then the Democrats would have drugged him for the past 4 years. Or you know what? They would have drugged him earlier. It wouldn't have been Russia collusion. It would have been Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep.
And so I don't see him being guilty of anything there. I don't see him being in danger of anything there. It doesn't make sense to me. The same Democrats literally arrested him. They've impeached him twice. They went after his businesses. They tried to destroy the men. They raided Mar-a-Lago. Why wouldn't they have brought out Jeffrey Epstein?
And how do you feel like Johnson is handling this Epstein matter in the House? It has been, like, do you feel like he's been fighting for transparency enough for your taste or not?
I don't like the resolution that was passed out of the Rules Committee. It has no teeth in it. Right. It's basically meritless. It just is like, oh, look at us. We're saying release it.
Right.
I think Pam Bondi is following the right course, asking for the court to unseal those files. Mm-hmm. And now she's directed Todd Blanche to go and talk to, I never see her name, Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. I think that's the right thing to do. Can we trust what she says? No, that's another question. Right. This is a woman. She's in prison. Her case is on appeal. Is she trustworthy? Yeah, she may be bartering for something. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Those are questions that should be asked. Right.
Do you think that this could be a political issue for Republicans or just Trump generally? If it's not dealt with, then I said we're not.
I think all of it is a political issue. Not only for the president's not running again.
Yeah, but just like,
but for Republicans, yes. You can ask my colleagues. They are getting beaten up at home in their districts.
Next question.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They really are.
So people, you think, do care about this issue?
I can tell you that since I have been a freshman member of Congress, I think this is fascinating. I've tracked the calls in my office. I have a whole spreadsheet that my staff that answers the phones. They track all the calls coming in district. They track all the calls coming out of district. And we have categories of issues ranging from maybe former issues to current issues. And we track what they're calling about. The call volume on Epstein it's almost been 100% Epstein since this started, in district and out of district. And they are demanding transparency.
And the volume is high. Is high.
Very high.
Crazy.
Very high.
You can feel it.
It's extremely high. So that's calls coming into my offices, both offices, district and DC. And then on top of that, what you're seeing online, and I think that's something to pay attention to. If you look at everybody's social media posts, if you go in comments, they won't even comment about what the post is about. They're going to say, release the files. I think it's a big issue.
What do you think of Speaker Johnson's handling of this, saying that you need to give the administration time to do this?
I had just answered that. I think Pam Bondi, what she is asking for is important. That's up to the court. She can't control that. We can't control that.
And last thing on this subject, it seems like the House is kind of shutting down for the week because Wolf is on Epstein. Like, what do you think that's?
I'll tell you my complaint on this is since Mike Johnson became Speaker, I forgive me, I should know this count. He's had us vote on 5, 6, 7 CRs. I don't know. I can't even count now. To me, that is the bigger story. Is why isn't a Republican-controlled House passing our appropriation bills? And when it comes to September 30th, I said it this morning, I am not voting for CR. I see that as utter failure. Because here's why. So in my district, there's serious projects that need funded, appropriation requests that are important for people, Republican, Democrat, Independent, people that don't even vote. These projects are important for people and their taxpayers. And why are we getting that done? Like water projects that are important, road projects that are important for our economic development. I have a rural district. That's incredibly important.
Why is the Freedom Caucus okay with the CR right now after demanding?
Guys, let me tell you this. If you're hearing people being called out more than ever, right on the screen, did you ever think in the past year, 2 years, that you would see Obama at the forefront of one of the biggest scandals in American history? Did you ever think that you would see Hillary Clinton being brought back up over her crimes over the Steele dossier, over the entire collusion of the Russian hoax? All this stuff that's happening, it's being brought forth because the American people wanted it. George Masalas, thank you so much for gifting a TrueLife News membership. Let's go. Ty Matt Chong, thank you so much for Super Chat. Said, go DJT MAGA Maha. I'm glad to see the truth. Thanks to the Trump. He is helping ROK South Korea. Thanks to you, bro, Joel. Want to help donate? I appreciate it, brother. Y'all show them some love in the chat. Guys, today's a big day because not only are we exposing everything that's happening right now on both sides, but we are going to want to say, if you haven't hit the like button, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button for us, if you're not subscribed to the family, please hit that subscribe button, join our family. We're about to transition to our giving. Guys, this is so important to me, and this is what I believe is a big part of this channel, that we donate live on stream on the 22nd of every single month to a local charity, and this is to a local children's home where they're helping kids that don't got anybody else, but they need financial support. And this isn't a big charity where they get, 80 cents, 70 cents out of every dollar goes to administrators. No, this is going towards the kids. And I've personally spoken with these people. I've seen things. They've written us letters, guys, and it's been beautiful. But I'm so thankful to say that today, guys, we're going to be donating to Tupelo Children's Mansion. This is a safe haven for children. When they ain't got nobody else, guys, they have us. They have us. Tupelo Children's Mansion has offered hope through the love of Jesus Christ to children in need of care since 1953. And what I love, guys, is that we need more of this stuff. I'm all for helping out everybody in the world, but dang it, we got people here in America that need help. We got kids that don't have families. We got kids that get put up for foster care. We got kids that get put up into these children's homes that they don't have anything. And I'm so thankful to say, guys, that today we are going to be donating from the TrueLife News family, from your support. When you give a membership, when you're a member or you give a super chat donation, guys, it's so important to me that this money goes to this. Remember, YouTube takes a part of it, guys, but we take what we can and we donate it to these local charities. And we're about to donate, guys, $3,000 to this local charity. And I'm so thankful to everybody that supports us. We're about to do it live on stream. Redeemed Patriot, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Said for the kid. Y'all show Redeemed Patriot some love in the chat. Guys, I don't care what any other channel does. You can go to this website. It's mansionkids.org. Mansionkids.org. I don't care what any other channel does. I care what this channel does. And I love the transparency, and I love being able to show you that this channel is more than just reporting the news, reporting the truth. That, look, $3,000 is what we're donating right here to this local charity. Gene Kopich, thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, OG of the channel, show Gene some love in the chat. Say God blesses the children. This is so important to me because, to me, when we can bring together and come together and do some amazing things, this is what matters. We're changing lives. We're giving God the glory. We're coming together and we're actually changing people's lives. It's asked me to put my information in right here, my personal information. I'm going to switch back to me. I've got most of this stuff already, pre-populated, guys. But this stuff, to me, is what matters. I'm going to show you the receipt in just a moment. That when it comes to doing what's right, to give into these local charities, this means the world to me. We have officially, I'm about to press this give button right here, guys. Look. I'm about to press this give button. Thank you, Jesus. We have officially, with this donation, we have given over $42,000 to local charities on this channel in the past 10 months. Over $42,000, baby. Show some love in the chat. Give some love, guys, because this is what matters. This is MAGA. This is making America great again. This is helping out kids that don't got anybody else. This is making sure that we're putting Americans first, putting our kids first. Tony, thank you so much for the super chat. Proverbs 16:3. Deanna Barkman, thank you so much for the super chat. Said MAGA all the way. Y'all show Deanna Barkman and Tony some love in the chat. Guys, I'm going to hit this give Right here, this is the success. I'm zooming in, guys, right here, because I want to make sure. Personal information right here. Payment date, 7/22/2025. Donation amount, $3,000. This payment ID, this just happened, guys. And this, to me, is so important. I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. We're so grateful for you all. Kathy Brewer, thank you so much for the super chat. You are amazing. Thank you so much. I want to show you real quick. This is the top of it, just to show you my name, not my personal address and all this stuff. Look at this, guys. Tupelo Children's Mansion. I've zoomed in. Success. Thank you for your generous donation. Joel, there's my name. Like, this stuff is real, guys. And this is changing lives, and we are changing lives, and it's all because of you. I want to give some special love to those that have already donated on the channel. Denise Clark Custom Art, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, OG of the channel, Stephen Brandon, Tim Patton, Andy, Patrick Trebet, Tijuana Border Jumper, Michael Butler, Gregosaurus, Barry Myers, Amy INFJ, John Reppy, Thomas Brewer, George Masalas, Ty Matt Chong, Redeemed Patriot, Gene Kopedge, OG of the channel, Tiffany Yen, thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, y'all are amazing. I can never have imagined that we would get to this point, but I know it's just going to keep getting better. It's going to keep getting bigger, guys. One day we're going to be donating tens of thousands of dollars a month with your support. One day we're going to be at 1 million subscribers. One day we're going to be interviewing senators, congresswomen, congressmen, presidents of the United States, guys, and it's all starting here. When people are going to know this channel that we're more than just bringing the news. We are changing lives, and we are giving back to those that need it the most. I want to say I love you all. Thank you so much for your support, everybody. We couldn't do it without you. Appreciate you. Thank you for liking our videos. Thank you for sharing our videos, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.